Hello, my name is Ed Frawley. This is a video on what we call the 5 rules of play. In a number of the courses that I've produced over the years, I talk about when and how to play with your dog. I talk about the 5 rules of play. And so many different aspects of dog training require people to have their dog progress through the 5 rules of play before they can move on to something else in their dog training. And the perfect example of trying to play catch with your dog, and you have a dog that plays keep away and it's just a problem because you put pressure on the dog. I put a lot of information in this and compress it down into a short little video that my IT people put together that I think is going to simplify things for you. Now here's the key. We're going to tell you what the 5 rules of play are. We're going to tell you why those 5 rules of play apply, but we're not showing you how to do it in this video. How to do it is in the online courses that I've produced. If I was going to go into those, this video would be hours long.
Today, we are going to tackle a problem that pretty much every dog owner has faced. That moment when a fun game with your dog just turns into a frustrating struggle. We're going to lay out 5 simple rules that'll help you transform that chaos into a really powerful bonding experience. So let's start with the scene I'm sure you know all too well. You throw the toy, your dog goes and gets it, and then, all of a sudden, your game of fetch is now a game of keep away. Now, this isn't your dog being naughty, it's a huge sign that you and your dog are basically playing by 2 completely different rule books. And yeah, that keep away game, it gets right to the heart of what we're talking about. It's the difference between what we call oppositional play, where it feels like you're fighting over the toy, and cooperative play, where the toy is something you both enjoyed together. And our goal, really, is to build that feeling of ours. So how do we get there? I know what you might be thinking. Oh, great, rules. That's going to suck all the fun out of it. But that's not it at all. This isn't about being a drill sergeant. It's just about being clearer. By setting up a few simple rules, we're creating a shared language that actually makes the game way more fun for both of you. Okay, so here's our roadmap. We're going to walk through 5 core rules. And I got to tell you, the order is everything. Each one of these builds on the last one, and that's how we create a game that's reliable and super fun. All right, let's dive in. The one thing you absolutely have to get is that these rules are not just some random checklist you can pick and choose from. No, they are a developmental sequence. Each skill builds directly on the one that came right before it. And here is that sequence. It's the proven order of operations. First, the dog has to want the toy. Then they learn to bring it back to you. After that, they learn to let it go. And only at the very, very end do we teach them to wait. If you're trying to skip ahead, you're just going to make your dog suspicious of you and the game. And that can set your training way, way back. So let's start at the beginning. Rule number 1. Before we can even think about making rules for the game, we have to start with the most basic piece of the puzzle. Your dog has to be genuinely, truly excited about the toy and about playing with you. It's really that simple. You can't make rules for a game your dog doesn't even want to play. So if your dog seems kind of lukewarm about fetch or tug, your first job isn't teaching commands. It's basically becoming a professional hype man and making that toy seem like the coolest thing on the planet. Okay, so once your dog is totally into the toy, now we can move on to our first official rule. And this is the one that directly fixes that frustrating game of keep away. We have to teach the dog to bring that toy all the way back to us. The whole point here, and this is a big one, is to flip a switch in your dog's brain. They need to understand that bringing the toy to you isn't the end of the fun. No, it's the magic key that makes the fun happen all over again, and maybe even better than before. So how do you do that? Well, here are some really practical things you can do. Instead of leaning forward and kind of demanding the toy, which to a dog feels like a confrontation, lean back, move away, make it a game of them chasing you. And the second they decide to come your way, mark it with an excited yes, and boom, reward them with a quick, fun game of tug. Now you're going to want to pay close attention to this because it is a super common mistake, and it accidentally teaches your dog to play keep away. If you always throw the toy forward, back where they came from, they learn to just kind of hang back, just out of your reach. But if you throw the reward behind you, they have to come all the way in close, which reinforces that being near you is the best place to be.
Okay, so this brings up a really important question. I mean, it seems like it would just be easier to teach the dog to drop the toy first, right? So why don't we start there?
Well, think about it from your dog's point of view. If the very first rule they learn is, hey, come over here so I can take that awesome thing you have, they're just going to stop coming to you. It's that simple. By teaching the return first, we build a foundation of trust. We show them that coming to us with the toy leads to more fun, not less.
All right, so once your dog is reliably, even eagerly bringing that toy back to get the game started again, now we can introduce the idea of letting go of the toy on command.
And with this one, timing is absolutely everything. There's this kind of developmental sweet spot. You want to teach the out when the dog is really into the game, but not so obsessed and possessive that it turns into a big fight. If you do it too early, you can actually kill their excitement for the game. But if you wait too long, you might create a major conflict over that toy.
Okay, now we are moving into the big leagues. This next skill requires some real self-control from your dog, and that skill is waiting. This is where the game starts to get a little more thoughtful, a little more structured.
And there is a huge reason we save this rule for dead last. A ton of people make the mistake of trying to teach this first. You've seen it. They'll wave a toy in a puppy's face, saying, no, wait, leave it. And all that does is confuse the dog and kill the very drive and enthusiasm we worked so hard to build in the first place.
The key here is to build this skill up slowly, piece by piece. You start right after a successful retrieve and a clean out. Before you throw the toy again, you just ask for a little pause, a second or two. That's it. And then over time, you gradually make that pause just a little bit longer and a little bit longer.
And that brings us to our final rule. And honestly, this one is less of a command for your dog and more of a guiding principle for you. You have to learn to be the game's thermostat, constantly reading the situation and adapting to the dog that's right there in front of you.
This quote just nails the whole philosophy. We are not trying to eliminate your dog's desire to possess the toy. I mean, that's what makes the game fun for them. We're just trying to guide that possession, to channel it into a cooperative game that you can both enjoy together.
And this is what being the thermostat looks like in practice. If you have a dog that's a little bit shy or low energy, you might play longer, more intense games of tug to build up their drive and confidence. But if you have a dog that gets a little too worked up and possessive, you'll do the opposite. You'll keep the tugs really short and sweet to constantly reinforce that letting go is no big deal and always leads to more fun.
So at the end of the day, what you should take away from this is that these rules are about so much more than just a game of fetch. When you follow this developmental path, you're not just training a behavior. You are building a crystal clear system of communication, you're establishing deep trust, and you are forging a much stronger bond with your dog.
So we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. The next time you play with your dog, just watch. Observe the interaction. Is it a battle for control, or is it a shared activity? What is your game of fetch really telling you about your communication and your partnership?